What's going on, people? Welcome to the Fan Cam. I'm Diyar, and today I'm joined by T and Stan, and potentially Luke, if he wants to join. Who's going to join us later on as well to discuss that 0-0 draw against United at home. Thank you guys for joining me once again. I'll start with you, T. 0-0 result against United at home. What do you make of it?
I mean, it was an ugly game, but you take the result. Anytime you can take 4 points off United in the season, I don't think anybody's going to complain about it. I mean, game mirrored the weather. It was ugly, but we did what we had to do to pull out the point. I mean, as things go, I'll take it.
Yeah, Stan. In the lineup, there were a couple of changes. I think the biggest one, which had people talking, was the James McCarthy for the Gyro Readerworld change. What did you make of it in terms of Roy dropping Gyro? I didn't understand it at all. I was like, how are you taking our best midfielder off?
What I will say?
Yeah.
I will say, I know a lot of Palace fans hate on McCarthy, but I actually rate him for the job that he's been brought in to do. He's been brought in to shore up the midfield. And against them, they can pass a lot of teams off the field. And he's very good at breaking up play. So I can see, what's it called? I can see why he did it. And also, it's 3 games in a week. You've got to rest your players. If you've got the players to rotate, you've got to rest them. He's gone off injured, so he's probably out for the season. That's him done now, But Riedewald came in, and when he came on, I thought we were even better. To be honest with you, he was very good. But I can't complain about that, really. I thought Eze was what was he doing with Eze today? Was Eze playing defensive midfield? Was he told not to pass, not to go forwards? Do you know what I mean? I was like,
they played him out on the left. Yeah, they played him way out on the left too.
Yeah, and you look at those 2 fullbacks as well. You've got who is it to play? They got Wan-Bissaka and you got Shaw, who are both good fullbacks. But someone like Eze runs at them, he's going to cause them problems. Do you know what I mean? So. You know what? Like I said before we went live, I'm not going to complain. What's it? 3 games unbeaten now, if you think about it.
Without Wilf.
Wait,
was it? Yeah.
Yeah. 3 games unbeaten. And I think that we are, what's it called? When have we gone 3 unbeaten this season? I don't think we have, to be honest with you. And they are, even though they played a weakened team, they've got the players that really and truly could hurt us. They brought on. Look, they brought on James. They brought on McTominay, who's been in great form. So yeah, I think honestly, all round, excellent performance. And guts, desire, heart. Why can't we play like that every week?
I think I don't want to take it away from us, but you have to also mention how United weren't that great in the final third. We didn't allow them to be great, but there were so many misplaced passes. The way they started off the game, Maguire was just giving the ball back to us. I don't know. I love seeing Maguire as a United player because like that, I feel like our chances improved massively. At Leicester as well, he was the same player. I don't know what it is with him, but we just love playing against him, and he just doesn't like it. But yeah, I feel like United weren't that great. But defensively, I feel like after the Fulham game, we didn't have much to talk about. But there is things to talk about here. Let's start with the right back, Wardy. I like the competition. I like the competition between Klein and Wardy. I don't get upset if Wardy starts or Klein starts because they can both put in a decent shift. But Wardy today, he was there trying to stop crosses. Luke Shaw was getting forward. He was very active. And I feel like he had a very solid performance. What do you make of it, T?
He was massive, man. I can't agree more with you. The play that stands out to me was the cross, the low cross across the box that he was able to get to and put out of play. It looked like on the replay, Kouyaté was a little bit shy to try for it. I guess he's kind of worried about an own goal possibly. But then Ward gets in there, and honestly, if he wouldn't have got it, I think Cavani puts that in the back of the net. But yeah, Wardy put in a heck of a shift, man. And I'm with you on the fact that between him and Klein, I think that there hasn't been a drop off whoever plays, and that's important for us. I don't see that type of drop off, but they were immense, man. He was immense at the back.
Stan, how do you see the right back position? Who do you think edges it right now? Of course, you can mention Wardy because of the game that he's had, but I feel like they both have their weaknesses and strengths. Maybe Klein can offer a bit more going forward.
Klein's better going forward, but Wardy's solid. Like if you think about him, and there's been a couple of times where he's like over the years made the mistake here, the mistake there, but he's never let us down. I know like a lot of us hate on him, and I've been known like in the past I've been included to hate on him, but he's never let us down. You think we got him for 200 grand from Ipswich? Do you know what I mean? He took us up. He's been an ever present in the Premier League. He's probably behind Wilfred Zaha he's got the most appearances in the Premier League. Mate, he's a legend. I think, at the moment he edges it. Klein's injured anyway, but yeah, he edges it. I've got to say though, you're talking about Harry Maguire. Does anyone remember when he signed for Man United, what Paul Merson said?
What did he say? Paul Merson said some weird things, so I don't know.
He was so right though. If you look at it, Harry Maguire at Leicester, they defended deep, right? At Man United, he plays on the halfway line, right? And he gets done so many times. And even today, he was going forward. He was we didn't even create that much, but he was having issues with us today. Do you know what I mean? I love watching him play against Crystal Palace because I know that he's suspect.
Yeah,
he's always.
I love it.
What he's living off like some goal that he scored with his slabhead in the World Cup. Do you know what I mean? Like that's what he's living off. He ain't that good. And I've got to say, Cahill and Kouyaté, brilliant today. Really, really good. Absolutely, knocking it out of the box. And Man United, you'd think that they know better to not play to our strengths. If you're just going to ping balls in, we're going to get them out of the box. We've got 2 seasoned pros in there. Do you know what I mean? So, got to say, obviously, shout out to Van Aanholt as well because he wasn't bad today. He did his job. He saved there's a couple of headers that he knocked out the box or knocked it over the bar. He was good today, mate. Very, very good.
Yeah, I think Cahill is very important to talk about because I remember after the Leeds game, I was just saying, is he done? And I wasn't the only one. There were Palace fans. I'm not too sure if any of you was suggesting as well. But he looked like he was just finished with the pace side of things. But he's turned it around. I don't know what it was. I don't know what's happened, but maybe with more games being played, for him getting more run-ins and etc. Maybe because he didn't have a proper preseason, maybe that just caught up to him with the age that he's got. He needed that preseason and he just missed it. But Luke, what do you make of Cahill's performance today? I know basically the back line.
It was good today. I mean, he put a few good blocks in today, and also against Fulham he did as well. I mean, recently he's been our best centre back so far. Kouyaté, again he was good today. And you're talking about Ward. He was solid too. But I think once Ferguson comes back, he'll be our first choice right back for sure.
Oh,
why is he gonna be though? I don't think he is, mate. We've seen nothing of him to suggest it. He can't even get on the training pitch at the moment.
Well, he's coming back. He is apparently training. Where do you think he ranks then? Because we're talking about having more youth in the side, and Ferguson was that player. He was Aaron Wan-Bissaka's replacement, which took a while. But everyone was looking forward to playing, watching Ferguson play. But where does he rank now in terms of Klein, Wardy, and Ferguson?
Ward, Klein, Ferguson. He's not. I'm telling you now, he's had a bad injury. If he gets back to where he could have been, I don't know. I think you're going to see him playing in the under-23s. I can't see it personally. He's got no Premier League experience. He's missed about 2 years of football. Nah.
Well, my hope for him is that it's not about this season and him becoming our number one option this season. I think it's important for him to get back in the swing of things, to get games under his belt. I like the idea of him playing with the under-23s for at least 2 weeks. I think that's what Roy was insinuating. I would love to see him get the opportunity to get out there this season at the Premier League level to get a little bit of his feet wet as far as that experience goes. I think next year we could be talking about him being our number one choice. I just don't think he has enough time this year. With like what Stan said, he hasn't had that amount of experience and proven track record yet for us to say, hey, you're going in, we're throwing you in, you're the first choice guy. But I would love to see him, stay healthy, get time in the under 23s, and then hopefully make some appearances for us before the season's out.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's one for the next season, but it's going to be interesting, the competition. And let's see what happens with Klein as well, because his contract's going to run out. So let's see if he'll renew it. But talking about this game, there's still other things to talk about. Someone mentioned Eze. We talked about Eze after the Fulham game, and we were talking about him playing as a number 10, but he wasn't as involved as much. Today, he got subbed off once again. He started out wide, more towards the left. What do you guys make of his performance?
I thought he was defensive midfielder. Like, did Roy say to him, don't go forward? Because he literally got the ball. If he had his back to goal, he was passing it to whoever was literally next to him. There was nothing coming off him. Do you know what I mean? I think he was told, no flair today. We're just going in. We're going to try and not get beat.
I mean, Eze, when he got the ball in different positions of the pitch, he was trying to drift in, but he just didn't have the support there. His performance was okay. All the team was okay today. It was just need to go forward a little bit more. Need to score more opportunities. We had a lot of opportunities that we could have won today, but we didn't take our opportunities.
Watching Eze, it felt like you're watching a player who is being limited, who's being held back. There were just times where I felt like he wanted to be more creative, and he was like, you know what? I remember what I've been told. I'm just gonna pass it back. Like he had a 1v1 on the left wing. I want to say it was against Wan-Bissaka, and it's like, okay, here's his opportunity to make something happen. And it was almost like he had this click in his mind. It's like, okay, this is not what I've been told. That he told me not to do this. This isn't what the manager wants. Let me just play it backwards. And that's what he did. And it's kind of like, wait a minute, man. That's not who you are.
Yeah, I think when Wilf comes back, it'll be interesting to see if his performances go up, because there's been people suggesting that maybe he's just missing Zaha in the side. But I've seen it when he first came in, fresh out QPR. He just had a bit more freedom. He was a bit more excitable to watch. He was on the ball. I'm not saying he's not excitable right now, but he was a different player. And I don't know whether it's a system that's affecting him, because some people were saying that Eze should have been dropped for this game, which I don't know how that should have happened when Eze hasn't really been playing with the freedom that he's got. Yes, he didn't have the greatest of games against Fulham in the previous game, but he also hasn't been able to get into position that he wants to get into and able to support the players he wanted to, because he was so stuck in the central areas. But with Eze, I guess when Wilf is back, hopefully next game, that would be huge. But people are talking about the defense, and we mentioned individual players, but that's now 2 clean sheets in a row. We also conceded only 1 goal against Brighton. So 3 goals conceded in 1 game. And we've had one of the leakest defense in the Premier League this season. What do you think has changed? Is it just down to the individual players, or do you think Roy's just gone back and just focused more on the defensive side of things a bit more?
I think Roy's gone back to his defensive blanket from last season. Like last season, we were so defensive. We were playing like the 4-5-1 system. And today we're playing like the 4-1-1 or something like that.
Yep.
And we were so defensive in the midfield. And I think that sort of helped a little bit, but it restricts going forward. So I think Roy's scrapped his 4-4-2 maybe. And maybe gone to the 4-5-1 or 4-4-1-1 now. So maybe it's the change of formation that's changed up the defensive side of things.
I honestly think I'm sorry. Go ahead, Diyar.
You must understand that as well. In terms of, I was thinking about it as well. It's like we were playing a 4-4-2 formation, maybe scoring a bit more goals, but defensively, that's what we're known for. And this season we've been so poor. So do you understand it why he might have gone back to that? And do you reckon it was a bit too late into the season? I thought he would have done it before, but we've had some odd results and he's still stuck by the 4-4-2. Maybe that's going to happen when Wilf is back. But there's no on earth you can tell me that there hasn't been some type of change in terms of defensive effort and defensive focus.
One of the things I think that's really helped us out, and I feel like people are probably noticing it, is the pairing of Cahill and Kouyaté has improved leaps and bounds to how they were before. I mean, they were by far the worst center back pairing that we had this season prior to this 3-game stint that we're on right now. They had given up they had played the most games together, but they also given up the most goals as well. But I feel like those two have allowed themselves to start working a little bit more cohesively, whether it be something about their communication or some type of positional understanding that they've gotten down between each other. I think their play together has really, really seen an uptick, and that's made this midfield pairing a lot better. I think prior to now, I'm not sure if they even had a clean sheet together as a center back pairing. And now they've got 2 in a row and only giving up 1 the game before. So, I mean, the one thing that stands out to me is the fact that those two are playing together very well.
Yeah. Evan says, whilst Roy ought to be praised for today, why not sub a striker on, preferably JP, or give Wickham a few minutes as well? Well, what do you think of that? I was surprised that he left Schlupp so late on. And then he took off Schlupp for Eze. I think that was a bit more defensive focus. I would have kept on Schlupp and Eze, maybe took off Ayew. But, JP, he scored that goal against Brighton, and Fulham game, he wasn't there. I think with Wickham, it's more understandable. We just come back from God knows how long injury. He's been injured for the majority of the time at Palace. But with JP, it's a bit confusing. I don't understand it. What's he done wrong for him not to come off the bench? Like, am I missing something?
I think it's going to be like we touched on it a few weeks ago with the Max Meyer situation. Maybe it could be the Max Meyer situation where Roy's not too keen on him after scoring that flair goal. Roy maybe doesn't like the flary players.
It's baffling to me, his situation right now. To start that game against Brighton in our rivalry game, to score a worldly of a goal, flash or not, that type of goal is exceptional. But to then not play one single minute, not even to start in the next 2 games, but not to play 1 minute is baffling. It's like, did he say something? Did he do something? Is something about his character after that game? Is he not doing well in training, or is Roy not liking what he's seeing from him in training? Because yes, I mean, Benteke had a great goal too in that game that gave us the win. Don't get me wrong, but that doesn't mean that Mateta hasn't deserved the chance to play. Some people feel like Mateta should be starting, but not to play him at all is a little weird.
It's confusing. I thought when he first joined, I already said it. Don't judge him until Roy's gone, because we've seen it with strikers. Pretty much 99% of our strikers under Roy Hodgson has struggled. So that's not a coincidence. But I don't know. It's just baffling. If he didn't score the goal, if he had a bad performance, I would understand it. But surely, I don't know. He's got his favorites. And clearly JP is just not one of them. Succulent Gujon says, question: if we're playing with 2 wide men in a 4-4-2, who should start out wide now that Schlupp's fit? So, what do you guys think? I'll ask you first, Luke. In a 4-4-2, Schlupp's fit as well. Is it Eze that's staying on the left, Andros on the right? How do you do it? How do you include Schlupp there?
I would put Schlupp on the right and Wilf on the left. And I would like to play the 4-2-3-1. I think it suits us with the players that we've got. I'll put Schlupp on the right, Wilf on the left, and Eze in the 10, and then Mateta up front. That's how I do it.
Do you agree, T, or do you think we should approach maybe a bit more differently?
right now, with us going if we were to go 4-4-2 right now, I'd put Wilf up top. Hopefully, I mean, if we're talking about him being able to be back, I put Wilf up top. I give Mateta another start. I'd keep Eze on the left. I go Towns on the right. I would continue to bring Schlupp off the bench right now because today wasn't enough of a sample size to know just how ready he is. Like, you got to give him more minutes than that to get up to match fitness. I don't think you throw him out there as a starter just yet because what did he come on in like the 82nd or 83rd minute?
Yeah,
You know, that's not a decent representation of match fitness. He's not. I don't think today's game did anything for him as far as reacclimating him to getting him to game speed. Truthfully, so I would probably keep him on coming off the bench, and then having him and IU coming off is nice because IU, whenever he gets in there, is going to give you an influx of pace and I guess hard work, not pace, but hard work, which can always help you in a substitute role. But that's probably the front four I would go with, to be honest with you.
Mark says you're reading too much into it. He'll probably start Sunday. I'll be surprised if he starts Sunday, Mark. If he does, then that's great. But I don't see JP.
Who will start Sunday?
JP, I think he's talking about.
No, if JP didn't start the last two games, why would he start Sunday? That doesn't make sense.
I don't know as well. I don't know how he'll start the next. I don't understand as well.
What would be the reason? I mean, Benteke. I mean, honestly, Benteke had his ups and downs this game, but in Roy's eyes, Benteke didn't play a bad game. So I don't see why that he would start JP over Benteke, being that he came off the game that he had at Brighton and didn't get a minute in the next two.
Yeah, I think with JP, I think it's something to do with defense. As stupid as it might sound, but Roy, I think last game after the Fulham game, he talked about Benteke and talked about him being defensively. Yeah, so it might be he doesn't have that much trust in JP to do that defensive work, which sounds wild. But I guess we're keeping clean sheets, so you can understand where it's coming from. And
JP's taller too. It's like he can definitely defend it now, whether he thinks he can or trusts him to. But
yeah, that's another thing. Exactly. So we'll quickly wrap it up slowly. Daniel says, would you guys consider 4-2-2-2 formation? I'll just stop it there. With me, it sounds exciting, but realistically, there's no point talking about it if Roy's not going to do it. If 4-2-3-1 took about how many games for him to even change it to that, which I believe is our best formation. So a formation like that, I just don't think it's going to happen under a manager like Roy Hodgson. 4-2-3-1 is the best that we can get. Darren says, got to assume that the lack of JP play has been tactical. Benteke is decent at holding up the ball. Maybe not JP's strong point. Yeah, I think it's something like that. I think it's tactical, defensive, whatever you want to call it. There's something in there for Roy not to start him. 4-2-3-1 says Schlupp as Zaha. Bembo says, question, who do you think the next Palace manager will be? I feel like we talk about managers every single time. But let's quickly answer this as well. Quickly, Luke, who do you think the next manager will be? Not who you expect and not who you want. Who do you think it will be?
Realistically, I think it'll be Eddie Howe.
I
Agree?
think Eddie Howe is probably the realistic choice. Now, if Fulham gets relegated, I think Scott Parker really jumps into that conversation as well.
Someone mentioned that today, and I think they're talking about it after the Fulham game as well. Would you guys take Scott Parker at Palace?
100%.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you look at the style of football that Fulham are playing at the moment, they are playing some really good football. I mean, they played well against us, and they're playing well in recent games. They're playing sort of like a Man City sort of style of football. I would take him.
Yeah, they pressed the hell out of us.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. But credit when credit's due. We've got 2 clean sheets, so I don't feel like it's too appropriate to talk about the manager too much. Let's look at the positives. Next game, we might have an issue in terms of Wilf might be back. So looking at it to the Spurs game, how do you think we should approach it? Same formation, same team? How does Wilf fit in if it's not the same team? There's a dilemma there. How do you see it?
if Wilf plays,
Well,
go ahead.
okay, sorry. Well, if Wilf is back, I could see us having the chance of possibly getting a draw out of this game at best. If Wilf isn't back, I can see like a 4-0 hammering for Spurs.
Seriously, after that performance that we've had 2 games in a row defensively, do you see a 4-0 happening? When even when we was poor defensively, we still got a point against them.
I mean, Spurs recently have been pretty good, and Gareth Bale is on fire. So,
okay,
we have to watch out. And Son likes scoring against us as well. So I mean, we have to wait and see. I mean, hopefully Wilf is back for sure.
See, how do you see it? Any lineup changes? And are you a bit more?
I mean, I think naturally with McCarthy getting hurt, I think Gyro jumps in there in the midfield, which is a good thing to see. If Wilf plays, Wilf's going to pop in there for someone. I hate to say it right now with how I think Roy would approach it. If Wilf's healthy, he'll probably come in for Eze because Roy loves Jordan Ayew with this deep passion of love that certain married couples don't have. So I definitely think that you would see Ayew stay and Wilf come into the lineup. Now, at that point, the question is, how do we line up with that squad, which I would imagine will probably be 4-4-2-ish if I had to put my money on it. I honestly think that if our level of defending stays on par with what we've seen these past 3 games, I could see us pulling out a tie or a narrow loss. But I would hope for the former rather than the latter.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be. I think it'll be more of a difficult challenge than United because United were just poor today. As good as we were defensively, they didn't really offer any danger going forward.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it'll be more of a challenge. But the defensive performance over the last couple of games just gives me that confidence. Even against Brighton, they had a couple chances in the second half, but first half we defended well. So it might be another 0-0, and I guess you guys will take it, would you? Considering that it's Tottenham.
Yeah, because that sets us up for Bromley pretty nicely. I mean, West Brom, if we could do that.
Yeah. Scott says I expect the goals was higher than United. That's crazy because I can't remember us even attacking in the second half after that Benteke shot, which managed to hit his other leg and bounce back.
We did miss some chances though, man.
Yeah. The Andros Townsend one was a decent shout. I think it was Matic who headed it back to him and whiskers off the post. We had some chances. The PVA one towards the end.
I think he would have been offside. I think he would have been offside though. As they showed that replay, it looked like he's pretty decently offside. But even still, like make VAR take it away from us. Score the goal. You know what I'm saying? Like those are the opportunities that we need to put into the back of the net. Now, in the past, PVA has scored that goal. Like we all know it. He has scored that goal many a times in the past. But that's just one of those we got to convert. Yeah.
Well, look, it was great chatting to you guys. It was positive to talk about today because after the Fulham game, but there was nothing to literally talk about. Going forward, we offered nothing. But in this game against a side who's second in the Premier League, we actually created, even though we had one shot on target all game, we had something to talk about in terms of going forward and defensively, another solid performance. If you guys have enjoyed the stream, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you to T and also to Luke and Stan whilst he was here as well for jumping on the fan cams. If you guys want to jump on, you can DM us on Twitter. You can message us on Facebook or Instagram, and we'll try to have you on the shows. Come and have your say. And until next time, up the Palace.